Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Lewis here, aka Crypto Elite, wearing my Crypto Rays blue blocking glasses. Pretty sweet, blocking the blue light. And today I'm going to be talking about the situation going on with Binance. So let's get to the video. So if you haven't heard the news, Binance, the biggest and widest used exchange in cryptocurrency, just announced that they will stop allowing Americans to actually use their exchange come September. So Americans could still use it and trade on it and everything like that right now, but when September comes rolling around, they need to get their stuff off of the exchange. Now, Binance will have an American-based exchange, and I'll talk about that in just a second. But basically, after 90 days, effectively on 9/12/2019, users who are not in accordance with Binance's terms of use will continue to have access to their wallets and their funds, but they will no longer be able to trade or deposit onto Binance. That's what the official letter from Binance actually says. Now, some people are saying that this dip that we're experiencing of 10 to 20% is an opportunity to BTFD by the fucking dip, while other people are being fearful and thinking that this is just the beginning of a nosedive of price action. So, while I usually actually do side on the BTFD side, on the buy the dip side, and I look at giant red candles as buying opportunities, I actually don't like this fundamentally because it's fundamental news, and I believe it is best to get out of alts. I believe that they're too risky right now. This morning, what I did was I closed out all of my altcoin positions except for XRP and ETH, and the majority of my funds are now in Bitcoin. So that is where I stand right now. I took major losses on all of the coins that I was holding long term because I believe that the price is still going to go down. Interesting fact here, if you would have just held on to Bitcoin since January 1st, you'd be up significantly. Yet, if you held on to pretty much any altcoin since January 1st, you'd most likely be down or at break even, unless you held on to like the very few that did really well. So, like many others, I was waiting for alt season to come around. I was expecting alt season to come pretty much any time now. However, with this news, I believe that alt season has been officially canceled. Bitcoin has once again shown its power. Now, there's actually a chart by Goomba at Remy Goomba on Twitter that shows a list of coins that will be available to U.S. customers through U.S. compliant exchanges once Binance stops using or stops the U.S. based trading in September. So I'm going to put that on the screen right now, and what you can do is you can stop the video and just look at these different coins, or I'll put a link in the description below. So basically the takeaway is that the coins in white might see their trading volume, or most likely will see their trading volume decline throughout the summer. For the foreseeable future, I personally am no longer going to be investing or trading in any coin that's white, nor 99% of any altcoin in the future. Now, why is this? Well, think of all the American whales who bought all of the ICOs, the pre-ICOs, right? They're going to dump, or they will most likely dump, loads of tokens that they got at super cheap prices that they've been holding on to, just waiting for an alt season. Also, think of the Binance-only coins that will get delisted, basically falling to abyss. And now, when talking about the Binance American exchange, yeah, there is a Binance American exchange that's coming out, but that exchange will most likely not have access to all of the coins, not have access to margin trading, not have access to IEOs, and also require pretty extensive know your customer laws, which I'm pretty sure plenty of people won't want to do. So I don't think it's going to be very successful, or as successful as a lot of people think it's going to be. We'll have to wait and see for that. Personally, I believe that Binance no longer serving US citizens is a big enough fundamental catalyst to basically kill off any hopes of alt season and basically drive alts into capitulation. And it will be at that time that, if that time comes, that's when I'm going to go heavy into alts again. That's when I'll try to pick up a lot of the bags. But right now, I just don't feel like it's worth it. Now, perhaps this 10 to 20% drop that we experienced yesterday, maybe that's all there is to it, and the alts will just simply range bound and then start popping up. But personally, I just don't buy it, and I'm not willing to risk even more of my capital to find out. So now let's go into a little bit of a conspiracy of what I think might be happening. Okay, so in just over 1 month, Bakkt is coming out and will start accepting users to test its Bitcoin futures trading platform. So first, we had the New York Attorney General basically announcing a court order against Bitfinex, right? Under the investigation of fraud. And they were really hammering on Bitfinex. And now we have the US government coming after Binance, which is basically the other biggest exchange in crypto. So is this all just a way to get big investors and institutions away from offshore crypto exchanges before Bakkt actually comes out? Bakkt, it'll have the backing of the US government. It'll have the backing of New York, and most notably the New York Stock Exchange, which is huge. And that's a really big deal. And it's going to calm a lot of potential investors' nerves about security, which is a major, major issue in cryptocurrency. So what is my strategy? What I'm going to do is I'm going to look into coins that are going to be available on Bakkt, and I'm going to heavily invest into those. If they're both on Bakkt and Coinbase, that gives even more weight to them. Right now, there's just too much uncertainty that I really don't like in alts. And with saying that, yeah, there are a few really nice alts that might be worthwhile to dollar cost average your way into. But that really brings me to a whole nother point, which I think that this video is a great opportunity to say, and I believe most people should hear it. And there's a couple points, really. Basically, one point is that if you were to put your money into a standard index fund, just a regular standard index fund, with stocks, and just let it sit there, you would have outperformed 90 to 95% of all traders and hedge fund managers over a 30 to 50 year period. Yeah, I know 30 to 50 years is a very long time, but it's still, the truth of the matter, and especially if you're young, if you're 20 years old or 25 years old and you just put it in there and then just let it ride, that's such a good thing in regards to dollar cost averaging and just not touching anything. The second point that I want to say is that if you would have invested into Bitcoin, even at the absolute top of $20,000, right, and you would have simply added in an equal amount every single week to your Bitcoin stash, okay, you would be in major profit right now. You would actually be in major profit right now. So, and you wouldn't have to deal with all the stress and everything that comes with trading. So if you take the concept of, okay, you put your money into an index fund and you just wait and you put that into Bitcoin and you put that concept into Bitcoin, that seems like a really good strategy to me. So the point that I'm trying to make here is that unless a legitimate altcoin season actually happens, investing into Bitcoin via dollar cost averaging seems like the best strategy when it comes to investing. Many of you guys are making $20,000, $50,000, $100,000 a year at a regular job. And let's just say that Bitcoin goes up to 36,000 during its next bull cycle, and let's say that takes 2 years, just randomly pulling numbers out of air. That's a solid 4x from today's price range or price rates. Now, I'm definitely not advising anyone to buy or sell anything, but honestly, a 4x in 2 years off of a $20,000, $50,000, $100,000 investment, something like that, not too shabby. I will take that any day. And of course, if that's not a high enough number, you can always learn to trade and, aim to make 5x, 10x, 50x, even 100x is possible if we end up having a crazy alt season, like we had in 2018, in the very, very beginning, January. But the thing is, Bitcoin, Bitcoin still, it's not like Bitcoin is guaranteed, but it's a hell of a lot more guaranteed to go up than altcoins are, It has basically an infinitely greater chance of going up when compared to altcoins. I mean, Bitcoin has been labeled by the SEC as not being a security. Ethereum also, same deal, has been labeled by the SEC as not being a security. So these are good to go. Pretty sure that XRP is not a security. Pretty sure that LTC is not a security either. And maybe a few others, but who knows about the thousands and thousands of others. It's still not actually clear. So the strategy that I like to use is this. Number one, I have an investment account that I have most of my funds in. I dollar cost average into that every single week without fail. You could actually set up automatic payments on Coinbase so that it does it automatically and you don't even have to think about it. Number two, I have a smaller trading account that I use to trade alts with. Now, when I make 20% on that trading account, I take 10% of those winnings, and I convert them to Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and XRP, and then I transfer them over to my investment account. So if I have $1,000 and I make 20%, that's $200. So I have 1,200. I take $100, split it between the 4 coins, and then send that over to my investment account. And now I play with $1,100 in my trading account. And I just keep on doing that. And another thing that you could do, which a lot of people don't talk about, is you could actually do something called reallocation or rebalancing. So let's say you like Ethereum, XRP, Litecoin, and maybe some others, and Bitcoin, obviously. What you could do is you could put them all in your portfolio, and you could simply rebalance them using something like, there's something called shrimpy.io. I'll put a link in the description for that, to keep a certain percentage of each coin in your portfolio at that percentage each month. So you could have, say 30% in Bitcoin, 20% in Ethereum, 20% in Litecoin, and the rest in XRP. You can make it so that when the price moves too high high enough in one, it'll sell it and then put it into the other coins. So there's a lot of things you could do. But the point that I'm trying to make is that the thing that you don't want to do is to risk a lot of your capital. I hope this was helpful. Follow me at CryptoLeet on Instagram. Check out blog.cryptoleet.com. Take the free course. It has a bunch of awesome videos for newbies, for people just getting into the crypto space. Really, really valuable. And if you like these glasses, pick up a pair of Crypto Rays. They're blue blocking glasses. You can see they block the blue light. These are awesome. GetCryptoRays.com. I'll put a link for that in the description as well. I'll see y'all later. Bye.